The fluorescent lights of the Zenith National Bank's main skyscraper hummed with a sterile energy, a world away from the quiet, methodical rhythm of the night shift. Leo, a single dad whose life was a meticulously balanced equation of janitorial duties, parent-teacher conferences and bedtime stories, moved his polishing machine over the marble floors of the executive suite. His thoughts, as always, were on his daughter Mia, and before we continue this incredible story, if you believe in the power of kindness and love stories that remind us what really matters, please subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Hit that like button and drop a comment telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your perspective. Your support helps us share more stories that warm the heart and inspire the soul. Upcoming school science fair. He barely noticed the sleek, modern lines of the office belonging to Evelyn Vance, the bank's formidable CEO, until a soft, erratic blinking on her darkened computer monitor caught his eye. It was a terminal left on, displaying a cascading series of automated trade confirmations. Leo, a man whose past life before fatherhood and hard times had included a stint in IT security, froze. The numbers were staggering, moving in a pattern that made no logical sense, a self-reinforcing, algorithmic loop designed to sell and rebuy a volatile cryptocurrency, each iteration magnifying the loss. He squinted, doing the rough math in his head. If not stopped before the Asian markets opened, this glitch would not just crash the bank. It would trigger a systemic avalanche. 200 billion. The world blurred. He thought of the bank's thousands of employees, of the pensions, of the chaos. He thought of Mia. Without hesitation, he did the unthinkable. He picked up the red emergency phone on Vance's desk, the one labeled cybersecurity hotline. Extreme threat. The next hour was a blur of frantic, credentialed men in suits barking orders, of Leo in his grey janitorial uniform, explaining the flaw in the code's logic in quiet, technical terms. By 4 a.m., the leak was plugged. The loss was averted. The acting night manager, pale and sweating, clapped Leo on the back, promising the moon and stars from Miss Vance herself. Leo simply asked to go home. He had to make Mia's breakfast. The summons came 2 days later. Leo, in his only suit, slightly too tight at the shoulders, was ushered into Evelyn Vance's panoramic office. She was not the grateful CEO he had imagined. She was a storm contained in a tailored sheath dress. "Mr. Kovac," she began, her voice like ice cracking, "you accessed a secured terminal. You initiated a protocol that required a security clearance you do not possess. You bypassed 7 layers of internal compliance." Leo stood bewildered. I averted the loss," he stammered. "A loss," she interrupted, her composure snapping. "That would have been covered by federal insurance and a consortium of underwriters. A loss that would have been a strategic write-off. Now, because of your intervention, the stock has plummeted on news of the near miss, and the regulatory scrutiny is going to be a nightmare. You've cost this institution more in reputation and regulatory headache than that theoretical loss ever would have." Her anger was personal, volcanic. Leo realized with dawning horror that the glitch might not have been entirely accidental. In the high-stakes world of finance, controlled demolitions sometimes paved the way for rebuilt empires. He had not saved her kingdom. He had disrupted a ruthless chess move. "You're fired," she stated, her voice now lethally calm. "Effective immediately. Security will escort you out. And if you breathe a word of this to anyone about the loop or our conversation, my legal team will bury you so deep in litigation, you'll never see daylight or your daughter again." The walk to the service elevator, flanked by guards, was the longest of his life. The next weeks were a desperate scramble. Job applications vanished into a void. The professional reference from Zenith was a black hole of silence. Mia noticed the replaced brand-name cereal with the generic kind, the cancelled piano lessons. Leo's spirit, once resilient, began to fracture under the weight of a silent, powerful injustice. The break, when it came, was from Mia, her science fair project, which Leo had been too distracted to help with, was on Everyday Heroes. She had, using an old-school tablet, created a simple video. She'd interviewed their neighbors, the nurse next door, the tired bus driver, the lady at the shelter where they volunteered. And then, with a child's innocent pride, she said to the camera, "But my biggest hero is my dad. He cleans the biggest bank in the city. And one night, he even saved it from a computer bug that was going to steal all the money. He doesn't know I know, but I heard him talking to Mr. Jenkins on the phone. He's a hero, but he's sad now." She had posted it on a public school server, the video with its heartbreakingly raw sincerity was found by a local blogger. The story, "Single Dad Janitor Saves Bank, Gets Fired," went viral by lunchtime. By evening, financial whistleblower sites had dug up the anomalous trading data from that night, corroborating the tale. The narrative was a media wildfire, the brave working-class father versus the corrupt. Entitled CEO, protesters gathered outside. Zenith Tower, news vans camped outside. Leo's modest apartment building. Inside, Leo was terrified. Evelyn Vance's threat echoed in his mind. He refused to speak to the press, which only added to his mystique as a principled man of few words. The pressure on Zenith National became catastrophic. Senators called for hearings. The Securities and Exchange Commission launched a formal, aggressive investigation. This time focused not on a glitch, but on potential fraud and wrongful termination. The bank's board, facing an existential threat, acted. Evelyn Vance was forced to resign to pursue other opportunities, a corporate euphemism that spelled the end of her career. Her replacement, an older, crisis management specialist, knew only one action could save the bank. Leo was offered a public, tearful apology live on national television, a reinstatement with a promotion to head of physical and digital security logistics, a title created just for him, and a settlement so large it ensured Mia would never want for anything. He accepted not for the money, but for the vindication and the stability. His first day back, walking through the gleaming lobby not in a janitor's uniform, but in a simple button-down shirt, the employees gave him a standing ovation. He nodded, humble as ever, his eyes already on the clock, eager to pick up Mia from school. Meanwhile, in a minimalist penthouse apartment, Evelyn Vance stared at the city she once felt she ruled. The news played on mute, showing Leo's smiling face. Her fury had curdled into a cold, absolute desolation. Her career, her legacy, her very identity was shattered. The board had thrown her to the wolves to save themselves. She was not just upset. She was utterly, irrevocably destroyed, a casualty of her own hubris and a system that ultimately valued the appearance of integrity over her kind of cutthroat brilliance. The public moved on, but Evelyn's world remained forever dark, a silent, private ruin overlooking a city that had forgotten her. And so, while Leo Kovacs began a new chapter of security and hope, reading bedtime stories from a home he now owned, the woman who tried to break him sat in the shadows of her own making. A stark reminder that sometimes the true cost of kindness withheld is a fate far worse than any financial loss. If you found this story of quiet courage and unexpected consequences compelling, please support our channel Kindness True Stories by hitting the like button, sharing this video with others who appreciate real-life dramas, and subscribing for more inspiring and thought-provoking content. Did this story resonate with you? Were you shocked by the CEO's reaction or inspired by Leo's quiet integrity? Let us know your thoughts and support our community by sharing your comments below. Your engagement helps us bring more powerful true stories like this one to light.